This is a Fox News alert. Breaking news in the Natalee Holloway investigation. Let's go straight to Aruba. Joining us from Aruba is Jossy Mansur, managing editor of Diario. Jossy, what happened today in Aruba in this investigation?
Today, the Dutch team that came to Aruba about a week ago went in full force to Paul van der Sloot's house. They set up a tent there. They brought 3 dogs. They brought specific search equipment. And they brought a judge and a prosecutor with them, and they began to search the premises of Paul's house.
Have the premises ever been searched before, Jossy?
No, not the house itself or the property, but they did search Joran's apartment, which is on the premises, but not attached to the house itself. From there, they took many black bags with them, plastic bags, with a lot of material that they sent to Holland.
All right, now today was anything seized?
We don't know that for certain because they kept a distance between our reporters and themselves. They went inside the property and did their searches. I know they dug up some holes and some sand somewhere on the property, but we don't know what else they did. These people are very secretive.
All right, now one of the things they had was a metal rod, and we're looking at a picture right now which looks like that metal rod that's being reported. Metal rods and shovels. Any clue as to what they might have been looking for with those metal rods and shovels? Are they? I mean, I hate to be so graphic, but are they looking for a body or are they looking for something else?
I don't think they were looking for a body. I think they were looking for something else. They must have come down here with some specific idea of what to search for on that property. I don't think they would have moved so much human and financial resources just to put out a show for the press. I don't think either that this search is based on a hunch, a rumor, or some unspecific lead. Something brought them to Aruba and something took them directly to Paul van der Sloot's house and property.
Is the search still underway, or have they completed their work and they're gone now?
They completed their work and they retired to wherever they're staying at in Aruba. They stayed there for about 8 hours. They went about 9 o'clock, 9:30, and they finished at about 5:30 in the afternoon.
No arrests, right?
No less.
They didn't, as far as we know, go to the Kalpo residence, did they?
No, they didn't. No, the Kalpo brothers were not a part of this specific search today. No.
Jossy, do you have the sense that they are simply being complete and going back and finishing something they didn't do 2 years ago, or do you have the sense that they are onto something?
I have the sense that they are onto something because, as I said before, I don't think they would have moved so many people to Aruba with so much expenses involved, so much energy, all this equipment and dogs. I don't think they just came here for an unspecific reason. They must have had some leads. And today, the Ministry of Justice put out a press release in which they justified this, tying it to something that came up during their review of all these tons of documents and tapes that they took with them to Holland a while back.
Where is Joran van der Sloot? Is he in Aruba or is he still in the Netherlands in school?
Joran is still in school in the Netherlands. He's busy with his book over there.
And Paul van der Sloot and Anita, his parents, were they home at the time of the search?
No, they weren't, but they did go and inform Paul van der Sloot. He was at the courthouse. He is a practicing lawyer now. He was at the courthouse. They went to inform him that they were going to perform this search, and he went to his home, but then he left in about 15 or 20 minutes and hasn't been back by 6 o'clock.
The fact that a judge and a prosecutor were on the scene as the search warrant was being executed, is that peculiar or is that procedure?
That's procedure. That's normal procedure here.
Karen Jansen, who was the prosecutor, the chief prosecutor, is no longer in Aruba. She's been removed from post or completed her term. She's not the one running this, right?
No, she is not. She's in Holland. She has another task over there. She's completely removed from this as far as officially is concerned.
Who is in charge of this investigation?
This investigation is in charge of the people from Holland because remember that the Minister of Justice, Rudy Cruz, requested the intervention of the Dutch investigators for this case. These people belong to the Forensic Institute of Holland. They are very effective professionals.
Jossy, thank you, sir.
You're quite welcome.
Well, what could the investigators be looking for, and what are the prosecutors in Aruba hoping to prove? Our producer on the ground in Aruba caught up with the spokesperson for the prosecutor's office earlier.
Police department are you with?
I'm with the prosecution service.
Okay. Of Aruba. Okay, now we are outside of the van der Sloot now, is that correct?
Yes, this is correct.
tell me what time you and your investigators arrived this morning?
Well, this morning, approximately around 10 o'clock, a search had begun here at the house of the Van der Sloot family. And the search is being conducted by the examining judge, Judge of Instruction, and the prosecutor is also here at the house. And also we have a team of forensic experts visiting from the Netherlands.
Okay, now can you say what this is in relation to?
This is in relation to the case of the disappearing of Natalee Holloway.
What does Joran van der Sloot have to say about today's events? His American lawyer, Joe Tacopina, spoke with Joran earlier today. Joe Tacopina joins us. Joe, what does your client say about this search at his parents' home, the family home in Aruba?
Not much. I mean, he was surprised, did not know about it. Is pretty much accustomed to this sort of routine and going on at this point, Greta, so nothing surprises Joran or the family. I mean, they're a little distressed. This is 2 years later. You know, they're being placed back in the eye of the storm. We've been here before. We've been there before. This is going to turn up to be another scenario where they, you know, do a search, do a dig, and come up with nothing. But Natalee Holloway was never at that house. Now, let me say this. I think this is a positive turn of events, quite frankly, for the van der Sloots. The reason I say that, Greta, is because I believe this could be the beginning of the end. The Aruban authorities, I've been told today, want to close this case. The Dutch authorities, who oversee the Aruban authorities, have basically said, you know, until we have all our questions answered, we're not going to do that. And the first time the Van der Sloot residence was searched, Greta, it wasn't searched thoroughly, it wasn't searched completely because the warrant that was executed at the time limited them to certain parts of the house and the property. This warrant does not do that. It's letting them excavate, dig, and do all these things. I think this will put to rest any notion.
And Joe,
yes,
how stupid that first warrant was so limited. I mean, I think we can agree that was stupid not to have it complete. But here's the thing that I don't understand. I mean, you know, you and I have discussed this timeline. I've done it with Joran. I've done it with
right.
Beth Holloway. Everything. I do not understand today, if they're being so thorough, why they didn't also go to the Kalpo residence where two of the other and go through their yard, do everything over there. That's what. Do you have any information at all that they are going to do that?
I have no information. As a matter of fact, I don't believe they're going to do that. If they were going to do that, the element of surprise is certainly gone. I know they didn't do a forensic sweep on that car that the Aruban authorities.
Well, they had the car.
The Aruban authorities. Yes, this is a different squad, Greta. These are forensic professionals here. We had not had this before. These are people who came with the appropriate forensic equipment, modern-day science, stuff that wasn't used early on in this investigation. I wish, quite frankly, it was. I think we would have been on the right road to some answers, but no. I have no information that they're doing anything with the Kalpos. You know, there's been some rumors, some leads. You know, we heard at one point one of these advocates, if you will, for the anti-Joran movement said, oh, she's buried underneath the pool or something. So I don't know if they're following up on rumors. I don't know if they're looking to close all the loose ends. I don't know if they're looking to make any sense out of the inconsistencies in the stories initially told. But look, I think this, quite frankly, when this investigation is done, when this search is completed, the forensic analysis is completed, I think this will prove once and for all that Joran had nothing to do with this, and I hope it's the beginning of the end.
If you're telling me that the forensic investigation now being done by Howland is profoundly more professional than the one that was done almost 2 years ago, I'm stunned, especially in light of the fact that in March of last year, the car, at least maybe a little bit even earlier, the car was returned to the Kalpos, the car that we know Natalee was in.
That's right.
Are you telling me that analysis of the Kalpo car was done by basically
police
amateurs?
Officers.
Amateurs, or I mean, that people don't know how to investigate to see whether there's any sign of any bodily injury in a car?
That's right. My understanding is they did not use any of the forensic tools available. They did a search. They looked for hairs. They looked for for obvious things that are visible to the naked eye. My understanding is they never luminoled that car. They never did the things that would give evidence, trace evidence, that's not detectable by the naked eye. What you're seeing now with this Dutch team is a different level of forensic analysis. It's my understanding that these techniques were never employed, and quite frankly, I don't even know if they were available to the Aruban authorities.
If that indeed is true, let me reuse a word I used moments ago. That is really stupid, and I will add I'll add that it's completely unjust or unfair to everybody involved, both the family of Natalee as well as the suspects. If they were so amateurish, because there's something. I mean, doing an forensic examination of a car is not that sophisticated at this date.
Greta, we know one thing. The search of Joran's house and Paulus's house early on was a search done by police officers who went in there looking for things like clothes and shoes. They never went in with a forensic team like this. By the way, we're 2 years down the road now, so I don't know what sort of value they expect to find. But hopefully, they get their answers, they satisfy themselves, and hopefully I'm right, and the people I've spoken to in Aruba are right in the suspicion that this may be the beginning of the end.
Well, I think that they need to go over to everybody's house, as well as talk to a bunch of people on the beach who they never bothered to talk to, including some who may have had some sort of connection with others on the island. But we'll leave that for later. Joe, thank you.